Hello, people, and welcome to our third session of Strange Aeons, the second edition Pathfinder adventure that's been converted from first edition. It's been a bit of an up and down, I think. We have finally seen our first combat with all of the weapons inside of the place instead of just randomly being in a shack. We've encountered some rather rude guards who have an understandable amount of paranoia, and we are just overall ready to go kick some butt. All right. So when we left off, you guys were in the kind of boiler room where you had fought three dire rats and a mysterious other planar creature you came to recognize as a Zoog. You guys have had time to have a rest since then, having a full rest kind of thing. And you even let the guards know politely where you were resting just so they didn't go crazy and try to shoot you or anything when you came out of the door. So now, having had time to rest, recuperate, regain those HPs that you lost, and any spells that you had used, what do you guys want to do?
So first, and I think I can do this as part of my rest, but I need to take 10 minutes, and I'm going to pursue a second lead. It can have two going simultaneously. And for this lead, I am specifically going to be focusing on tracking down those doppelgangers.
Okay, so just based on the various signs and scuffles, things around the place, little clues and stuff, you're going to try and focus down, see if you can find out where the doppelgangers are in general, or like any of them in particular, like the three that you saw
Just
escape into this
tracking
building, or
down and just tracking down and killing them. The main thing that pursuing a lead does for me mechanically is I can add +1 to my any checks I do to investigate the lead I'm pursuing, and
mm-hmm.
if I'm fighting a creature that is involved in that lead I'm pursuing, I can use my devise a stratagem as a free action rather than a full action.
Yeah. Okay.
So I basically just spend a few minutes like mulling over all the details in my head and muttering to myself
Mm-hmm.
and trying to just focus all of my mental energies on tracking these doppelgangers down.
Okay. I would say there's definitely enough stuff around that you would be able to uh, pick up the little bits and pieces that normally you wouldn't be able to, just because like there's nothing like really specifically about them that lets you examine the details of one potential clue. But you've had enough experience with doppelgangers at this point, and there's enough things kind of kicking around that you can make a decent check. So, um,
I mean, I do have that severed hand in a jar.
it's true. The severed hand in a jar doesn't actually belong to a doppelganger, however. So, but yeah, no, I'll say that yeah, you can get a +1 bonus to your perception checks and checks against creatures and such like that to um, do that. So that's done. Is anyone else doing anything the kind of like little hour or two before between wakefulness and actually getting ready to go?
I'll spend 10 minutes doing my refocusing so I can get my spells back.
Oh yeah,
My
that
spell.
that happens during the night automatically.
Can I see the map again? It's not on the screen.
I have you folks back at the start screen. We're gonna go over here
Yeah.
instead.
Thanks.
Welcome. Okay.
I mean, I guess I should probably just tune my loop.
Yeah, you take some time to actually make sure it's still in tune, give it a strum. Um, Seems to be working optimally. Anything else for anyone? You guys just going to stay in there for the rest of the day?
Well, I think I should leave.
Probably.
We have a quest to complete, I suppose.
Let's see. I gotta spend some.
Sorry?
Dad, would anyone be able to use a crafting skill to help mend my shield?
No, you would require someone with blacksmithing tools to try that.
Blacksmithing tools. Okay, so they'll
Yeah.
need crafting and blacksmithing tools.
Well, yeah, I mean they can't just randomly wave their hands over something with a crafting with the crafting skill without the proper tools and fix your things
Right.
unless they have the spell mending.
Right.
That's smart.
Hmm. Okay, well I'm gonna get
So
you all
we're
to. Sorry.
here right now.
Yeah, you are in the
I was
boiler
just
room right now. Yeah, that area right there.
okay. So I would propose that we go and we first examine these two rooms and then make our way up this way.
Keep in mind that you guys do know that while you know those doors exist, you don't know what's inside of them or anything like that. So keeping a neutral approach is best. So as you guys kind of leave the hallway, then you kind of take a left out of it. You see there is just like a two storage rooms kind of side by side. I'll get you all to roll perception checks though, please. Wow, you all rolled very well. Okay, as you kind of step out into the hall, you do notice that the guards are a little more tired looking. They look much more fatigued. There's those dark circles around their eyes are a little more pronounced, and they do train their weapons on you, but they don't feel as intimidating as they did yesterday. So, as you walk up to the first door, you can see that it's the same kind of standard asylum door that you've encountered several times already. Just that solid oak with a lock, 2 hinges, basic stuff. And with your checks, you notice that you don't see any traps. You don't believe it to be trapped at all.
Oh, I'll take my standard approach. Shield raised, warhammer out.
Okay.
I'll have my claw blade out as well.
All right.
And so, how do you guys want to approach opening this door?
Well, does anyone have a lockpick?
I open the door.
Okay. You straight up you turn it, you open it, no traps go off or anything. You like take a look inside. You can see that the room itself has kind of been ruined. The rooms once, you can tell, held spare linens and cleaning supplies kind of crammed onto like the wall-mounted racks here, but most of them have actually been knocked to the ground, and there's the faint stench of chlorine or something similar, and just a bunch of broken containers and glass, blankets tumbled everywhere, and a lot of rubble coming from the wall next door kind of crashing in on it.
What
So
room
you-
are we in again? Sorry.
This one. As
Thank you.
you take a look around, you notice that some of the rubble has been moved in an obvious pattern. It's definitely unusual, Mr. Ben. Specifically, that was for you. No one else notices that. It's an odd thing, you could say.
It's almost like I have a class ability that lets me see things that are odd.
Almost.
I will gesture to the rest of the party and be like, hold back a bit. I'm just going to go check this, and I will go take a closer look.
Okay, so as you step into the room and you take a closer look, I'll get you to roll a perception check and a flat check, please. D100.
All right. First, my perception. Then my 11 perception and 9 on the D100.
So taking a look around, like crouching down and scattering through things, moving things just a little bit, you do notice that there are obvious signs of something in here, and it doesn't strike you exactly what that something is until a giant centipede rears its head out of the rubber? Yes, out of the rubble and launches forward to try and attack you. Everyone gets to roll initiative now. Okay, give me just a second here. So, Ostrich with a good roll, not bad. Seviston, you've critically failed your initiative. That's no fun.
Who knew?
That's
All right.
probably the best thing you could critically fail. Then.
It is. That's true. Unless
That's
something gets a
true.
critical hit off on you first, because you weren't able to act in time.
Mine's
So
pretty shitty too.
that's fair. This creature does get a bit of a surprise round on you, good sir, because you entered the room, and it got to like react and jump out of the rubble before you could even spot it was there. So it's going to rear up, and you can see this massive centipede. It has these big mandibles that are already clacking and dripping some sort of venom. As it launches towards you, it's going to attempt to bite you for a 24 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay, I'm going to get you to make a fortitude saving throw, please.
I'll use my reaction on the damage there, Devin.
Okay. You're going to take 1 point of damage, Ostrich, and no venom actually gets through. And kind of already reared up, you can see its beady eyes looking around, noticing that there are more people out in the hallway. It's going to do its best to finish you off quickly so it can go get the new sources of food. That's going to be 2 more attacks. It'll be 17 to hit, good sir. For Ostrich.
That does hit.
Okay. Actually, that'll be a 16 to hit because he is enfeebled. Does a 16 still hit?
Still hits.
Okay. That'll be another 1 point of damage and another fortitude save.
All right.
And then its kind of bestial clumsiness, it attempts to attack you again, only it does miss rather horribly and ends up actually smashing its face into the rocks around you, definitely injuring itself.
Sorry, DM, I got a question there.
Yep.
With that resistance, if it did 0 damage, would he still take a fortitude save?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
because
curious, I wasn't sure how that plays out.
Yeah, no, it totally does. You would have still taken 1 damage for the because your resistance that it's Well, I'm not going to do it right now, but yeah, you would still take a minimum of 1 damage. So, and at the end of its round, as you're kind of like dealing with the fact this giant centipede popped up out of nowhere, you begin to feel the poison burn in your veins. You're going to be taking 2 points of poison damage. Alright, then Ostrich, you get to react. This creature just like leapt out of the ground at you. What do you do?
So is it what's the layout of it like? So it just popped out of the rubble, and I'm kind of between it and the door right now.
Well, as you stepped kind of fully into the room, you're not between it and the door. You're stepping into the room itself because it is a rather large room. It is it's supposed to be about a 15 by 15 foot area. This thing is like in the middle of the rubble that's just laying against the northern wall there, and you're kind of in the center of the room, so people can easily come and go.
Okay, so I'd like to just. Actually, no, I'm not gonna. bother moving. I need all the action economy I can get this first round.
Mm-hmm.
So first action, I will unsheath my sword cane.
Okay.
Second action, I will devise a stratagem. Well, let's see how this goes. So then my third action will be an attack using that 7 plus an intelligence attack. So total of 14.
Okay, so you take a moment, you like kind of limber up, ready to fight this creature, draw the sword cane, and give it a really good stab. How much damage do you do? Because that is a hit. Oh, sorry.
Huzzah!
Yeah, because he's enfeebled 1. That would be a hit.
Okay, so it'll be 1d6 plus 1 piercing damage plus 1d6 precision damage.
Got all the damage going on.
Right, so there's the base damage 4, and then so a total of 9.
So you manage to take the creature square between its beady little eyes, stabbing into its brain as you kind of pull back. The entire creature kind of tumbles to the ground, already dead. At the end of your turn, I need you to make a fortitude save, please. Okay. The poison continues to rage in your veins as you haven't been able to kind of throw it off yet. You end up taking 4 points of poison damage. This, you can kind of hear more sense, more hissing in the rubble. More of these creatures are hiding in there. Then it'll go to Litrix.
The hiding perception check there was for Ostrich only, right?
Yes.
Right, so I wouldn't know that there are any others there.
The only reason that he can hear it is because he's in the room. If you guys were in the room with him, then you'd be able to hear it as well.
Okay. Well, I'm going to raise my shield as my first action and step into the room.
Okay. First and second done.
Okay. And look around, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. Okay, taking a quick look around, you do know that there are definitely some usable things here that would be good for your party, and you note the skittering legs of many centipedes of a smaller size. There's quite a few of them.
Oh, great. As a free action, I'd like to just alert the group that before they come into the door.
Okay. Nero?
I guess I will walk in.
Mm-hmm.
I have my sword out. And I will ask, who was it, Ostrich that got hurt?
Mm-hmm.
If he's alright, needs some healing. And,
I would very much appreciate some healing.
Then I will cast heal on him. So I guess I'd take 2 actions and do 1d8 plus 8.
Absolutely. Heal away.
Or max.
Excellent. So you actually lay your hand. Sorry, that's a ranged one. So you
There's a
speak a
ranged
word of radiant healing, and as the magic kind of waves over Ostrich, you can see his wounds literally knit themselves shut. Ostrich, you can still feel the poison inside you, but it feels lessened somehow.
And I still have one more action. Can I just hold that action to swing at something if another one gets close or some aggressive creature gets within my attack range?
If you specified hold it for an aggressive enemy to get within your range, I would allow it. An aggressive creature could include your party.
Well, sure.
Semantics, just in case something has mind control, then good to know. All right, Torio.
Are we in the room with this thing, or do we have to like make a movement to be in the room?
Both you and Seviston are still outside. Everyone else is in the room.
Okay, so I will cast True Strike because regardless, I think it does. True Strike work from like not on my team too, or not on this turn?
Yeah, as long as you hold it, it works. Works in your next attack.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast True Strike. Oop.
Oh, no, it is until the end of your turn. Sorry. No, it'll be until the end of your turn.
Oh, well, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna walk in. And would I be close enough to be able to like hit it with my rapier?
The creatures themselves are currently moving underneath the rubble. Attacking them would be a precarious thing at best, but you can always attempt to.
Am I able to hold True Strike until my next turn, even though I've cast it?
Just because the duration is until the end of your turn, I would say not. You wouldn't be able to, no.
Oof. Okay. I'm gonna roll a performance check to hype everyone up again.
Okay, go ahead.
Boom.
You can tell a bit of a story, and you can your allies feel a little bit better right now. You get the feeling that the weight and then the pressure of the situation is kind of eased from their minds. All right, Seviston.
A plus anything?
I will let you know if it does when it's required. Yes.
Okay.
So Seviston.
So there's no immediate threats that I can see from outside in the hallway?
No, but you have been informed of them. Yes.
Okay. I'll do a particularly agile roll into the room.
Okay. As agile as you can be, you slowly walk into the room.
And I'm going to attempt to just, if there is a corner that I can hide, I'll try and do that. And yeah, so just basically attempt to hide.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check. Alright, so you managed to find a little piece of the room that's kind of shielded from view of the centipede swarm, you do believe, like the massive amount of them underneath there, and hide yourself away as best you can. Alright. Ostrich, is there something you'd like to do?
So my battle medicine feat specifically says it applies to the treat wounds action, but would you permit it to also apply to treat poison?
Not without having antivenoms in your equipment stash, no.
It just says that it requires a medicine kit to do the treat poison action.
Yep, but because it does say specifically treat wounds, unless you actually had antivenoms as a separate item to treat the poison, I would not allow it, no.
Okay. Well, in that case, I am just going to ready an attack against the next enemy that appears within range of me.
Okay. At the end of your turn, you'll make a fortitude save, please. Okay. And as the poison, you can feel after this the poison kind of leave, but first it does hit you rather hard. You're going to take 3 points of poison damage. You become clumsy 1, and flat-footed for the remainder of the turn as the poison kind of burns itself out of you. All right, Litrix. Litrix.
Oh, shoot, I was muted, sorry.
No
I'm
worries.
going to use my first action to raise my shield.
Okay.
And so how thick is this rubble that they're hiding in?
From what you can see, it extends at least 2 to 3 feet from the wall itself, and that large, big centipede, which is considerably bigger than the little ones you can see scampering around, only dislodged a small portion of it when it popped up. There could be probably another one of its kind hiding under there, but all those small centipedes are really the worry at the moment, especially if they have poison as potent as what you're seeing Ostrich go through.
Right. Well, I have a war hammer, so I'm just going to smash down on it.
On the rubble?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll try and, like, not just blind line, but, like, if I can see a couple, then I'm going to come down on top of them kind of thing.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack.
Let's see here. For the Warhammer, the shove property, could I use that to, like, shove away some of the rubble while I'm attacking?
It would have to be against a creature that you can move. The rubble is really large and not a singular target.
Perfect. No, then I'll just go with my original statement.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you smash down on the rubble itself, and you do actually seem to crush a few of the centipedes under the weight of your warhammer, but you begin to see cracks travel up the stone walls of the asylum as well, and the ceiling above begins to sag just a little more as you hit as hard as you can against the rubble, trying to kill things.
I'm going to use my third action to back up.
Fair. All right. Then Neru.
My turn already.
Mm-hmm.
Do I notice any of the cracks after his swing?
Oh, definitely. They weren't subtle. There's little flakes of stuff falling from the ceiling and a lot of dust.
All right. I'm going to say that I think we should probably get out of here now. I will leave the room, I guess.
Okay, so as you walk out of the room, trying to get away from all the crumbling ceiling and such, you easily do so. Nothing seems to attack you on your way out. All right. At the end of your turn, though, you can see the swarm of miniature giant centipedes. They're not small by any means. They're each about a foot to 2 feet long, kind of scamper from underneath the rubble, and it visibly deflates by a good 2 feet just down based on the massive centipedes, and they fill the 15-foot space in the room with these crawling bugs that seem to have no other purpose than to bite and chomp and claw at you, and you can feel them crawling all over you. So each person in the room is going to be taking 3 points of damage, and making a fortitude save, please, as the creatures crawl and bite and gnash and do all the nasty things. Okay.
Shout to me getting a critical success and Ostrich getting a critical
Right.
fail.
All in the same roll. Ostrich and Seveston, you are both poisoned by these creatures, and Ostrich, it's a familiar sensation for you and one that you really don't enjoy. So each of you is going to be taking 1 point of poison damage, and you are considered flat-footed for the remainder of the round. So as these creatures do the creepy crawly thing on you, you can see the ceiling begin to sag just a little more. The damage that Litrix dealt slowly buckling the ceiling as the pressure is just too much for what's left. Toriel?
Are they all in the room? Like everything, like if we left the room, would they follow us out there probably?
You don't know. They're insects. That's definitely not your realm of expertise.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to dodge them all and run out into the hallway.
So you're just running through them?
I'm like jumping over them
Okay, so you,
if I can.
if you want to make a tumbling check, which is just going to be your acrobatics, please and thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm good at decent acrobatics, so.
So at first you flinch from the creatures, and then you kind of take a look around to see how you can escape. You spot a couple of the shelves still on there. You put a hand on it, and you just fling yourself out of the room into the hallway, kind of tucking and diving out of it. Some of the creatures are still stuck to you, but you manage to brush them off, and they quickly scatter their way back into the swarm. Anything else you'd like to do?
So I'm in the hallway now.
Mhm.
Can I look around to find anything to like throw into that room at them?
There's tons of little rocks everywhere, but rocks are about the biggest thing, the only thing you can really throw.
I'll pick up a rock and throw it at a cockroach in the room.
Centipede. But yes, go ahead and roll.
Yeah, one of those. What should I roll?
Just roll a d20. I can figure it out from there.
Okay. How do you do that again in the chat? What's the command?
/roll space 1d20.
Thank you.
No worries.
I didn't know I have to use /roll or not. Oh.
So you do manage to actually hit a few of them, but it seems like you don't throw with quite enough force to really damage them. You half squash one of their legs, but that's about as much damage as you can deal with a thrown stone to an entire swarm. Sebastian?
I'm gonna attempt to get myself out of the room as quickly as I can, trying to find a safe route, possibly trying to follow the same path that Toriel took.
All right, sounds good. Go ahead and roll. Okay, with just a little more flair, you jump from where you are to the shelves and then push off those to backflip out of the room and land doing a little bit of a tuck and dive while you do so. Give a little bow because it was definitely an acrobatic performance and you're easily outside the room.
Okay. So does that take 2 actions or just 1 to do that?
I would say it would take 2.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt to do a fascinating performance and see if I can distract the swarm so they won't focus on my ally that's still in the room.
All right, go ahead. Okay, you attempt to entrance as many of them as you possibly can with your performance, but a swarm is a difficult thing to hold the attention of, especially when there's meat in the middle of them. And while you do distract a few of them, most of them remain focused on Ostrich.
Okay.
At the end of your turn, I'd like you to make a fortitude save, please. Okay, you're going to take 7 points of poison damage as the poison continues to pump into your veins. You are now clumsy 1 and flat-footed again until the end of the round.
Okay.
Okay. And we return to Ostrich.
So would this swarm have triggered any held attack actions?
Yes, you are correct. It would have triggered the held attack. So you can go ahead and make the attack before your turn. It's not going to count as one of your actions.
Okay.
Okay, you attempt to stab at them, but they're everywhere and they're all over you. You have no time to really pin down. You're just trying to stab something, and you do manage to stab some of the rubble, but none of the creatures themselves. They skitter away too quickly from your blade.
Okay. We'll use my first action to devise a stratagem. be possible for me to use a hero point?
It wouldn't be entirely, but I would also, when you devise a stratagem against these creatures, I can give you advice, right?
I see. I'm just don't think at my current level that's a thing. I think maybe at higher levels or when I take more investigator feats, then I start being able to learn information from.
Yeah, it's well, the
Uh,
glean information thing or something like that. I remember it. Sorry, I'm thinking a little bit too far ahead. Apologies.
well, I said I'm gonna do it, so committing to it. So,
All right.
right, so 9. So that'll bring my next attack roll to a total of 17. Or no, wait, no, 16.
Because you're clumsy. Yeah.
Actually, no, it was because I was math, but clumsy only affects. I just read up and it says it only attacks dexterity-based attacks, right?
Oh, right.
And
And
this
yours
would
is an
be
int. I thought yours was finesse again for some reason. No, you're right. It's int. Yeah. That's fair. 16 will hit these creatures. Go ahead and roll damage.
no, it'll be like, bugger off, filthy bugs.
Oh, that's a gorgeous amount of
And
damage.
are they immune to precision damage?
They are not. No.
Okay. So a total of 10.
Okay, so they're resistant a little bit, but not immune. As you manage to actually skewer a few of them with you devise a strategy, and you skewer them for a reason, because you actually managed to pick away at some of the rocks holding up some of the rubble. You can see some of it cascade onto them, crushing a few others. Roughly, you'd say a third of the swarm is currently gone, but there's still more than enough to make trouble for you. Litrix?
I do still have
Oh yeah, you still have one more
one
action.
action.
Right, I was counting your first attack because I'm silly. Yeah, sorry, you have one more action.
And I am going to. I am just going to take a step away and try and disengage from the swarm back towards the door.
You have
Not
more
going
than
to
enough.
try and. Yeah, sorry, just gonna.
Yeah. You have more than enough speed that you're actually able to make it out of the door before without the creatures attacking you. And as all of you stand outside the door, you can see that they do swarm inside the room, but they're very reluctant to leave it.
I say, kill them with fire.
All right, Litrix. Everyone's outside the room now, I do believe.
Everyone but me.
Everyone but you. Yeah, you would still be in the room. Also, Ostrich, at the end of your turn, make a fortitude save, please. Okay, you're going to take 2 points of poison damage. You are now clumsy and flat-footed. Until the end of the next round.
Clumsy and flat-footed. So do I become clumsy too, or was that just a one-round clumsy?
It was just a one-round clumsy until the end of your turn. And then at the end of your turn, you got clumsy was reapplied.
All right.
Okay, so Litrix, what are you doing? What's going on?
Okay, so with that perception check, you said that there were some useful items in the room.
Mm-hmm.
What would that be precisely? Did I notice any specific useful items? Like what they were?
You did notice a lantern, a hammer, and a bundle of blankets that would probably be helpful to keep yourselves warm in the chill night, but that's about it.
Okay, and are they all roughly close?
No, you'd have to cross the rest of the room to get to the shelves on the far side. So, take a 10-foot step and then leave would be, and then, so 25 feet total would get you to them. You'd have to use an action to get there, an action to pick them up, and an action to leave.
3. So I could get there, pick them up, and leave.
Absolutely, you could.
That's what I would do.
All right. So you get there, you kind of scavenge a bunch of stuff, and then you leave. The creatures continue to move around inside the room. Neru.
trying to figure out if, so everyone's out now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would my fire ray, when it hits something, does it just do a fire damage?
Could you link it to me?
I mean, I can just. I don't really have anything for it. Sorry, I'm not super prepared for that.
Okay. So you got it for being a cleric of Sarenrae. Is it your focus spell or a devotion spell?
It is focus spell.
Okay. So
I'm wondering if I can shoot my fire ray at the wall, if it will actually do any damage to, like, potentially collapse the ceiling on these things, or if it just does a fire damage. Like, it's something my character would know, but I'm not sure.
Because
page
it deals
3.
solely fire damage, it would be a heat-based attack, not a force-based attack. There's no physical damage aspect to it, so it wouldn't be able to cause any sort of pressure to anything like that. No.
That is what I was wondering. Okay, so I don't know. They don't seem to be coming out of the room.
No, they don't seem to be coming out of the room.
Okay, I'm gonna cast detect magic. Does it show anything inside the room?
You take a moment, and you focus on what's inside the room, and all you see are the creatures. Nothing else, and nothing in the room is innately magical. No, not even the creatures themselves.
Is there anything around that I could use to barricade off the door?
Detect magic is a 2-action. Yeah. 2-action spell.
Yes.
Okay, you can make a perception check to see if there's anything that you can use as a bulwark. Yeah.
Sure.
As far as you can tell, you can pretty much just close the door. You could maybe toss some rubble in front of the door, but that's about it.
Okay.
And those would be your
Would
actions.
you allow me to close the door as a free action?
I would allow you to close the door as a free action.
Okay, then I close the door.
Excellent. As you close the door, we're going to bring the combat to an end. These creatures aren't going to pursue you. If you guys wish to do something else, go for it, but they're not going to come into the room.
I'm gonna slump up against the wall and start out my medicine tools and my first aid.
In the hallway? Like right in the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay.
How hurt are you? How hurt is everyone?
I'm pretty hurt.
I'm like 3 hit points down, but my max is 15, so like I'm at like 12.
Right. Well, I could use another healing spell. I could cast an area of effect healing spell and heal everyone. If you guys are that hurt.
Or I could just
Everyone heals for 5.
So Ostrich, you're in the middle of like bandaging yourself up and stuff when a wave of healing magic bursts from Neru, healing everybody for just a little bit. You can still continue if you need to heal yourself up some more, though.
I'm still going to.
Okay.
Because it doesn't cost me anything but time to do so.
All right. Go ahead and make
If
a check.
Ostrich can take a look at well.
Ostrich, you managed to heal yourself rather well, and taking the additional 10 minutes, you can try and heal Sevestin as well.
What are you allowing me to take 10 for healing Sevestin?
Yeah, it'll take.
Maybe a little.
If you're taking the full 10 minutes to do so, and not like the battle medicine thing, then absolutely take 10.
Okay, yeah, because I was in a little bit of a hurry to fix myself up, but not so much them.
That's fair. You're like, I gotta patch these wounds, gotta make sure I'm not gonna die.
Okay. So, first roll will be for me. Second one will be for Sevestin. 2d8, right?
Yes, it'll be 2d8.
Okay, and then plus my level because of my feat.
Exactly.
6 for me, 13 for them.
All right.
Thank you.
So you take a quick breather after the invasion of the insects in that room. And for some reason, those who are poisoned can hear faintly in the distance. It's like the sound of cloth dragging on stone. It gives you a brief
Weren't we all
flashback.
poisoned?
No, just Seveston and Ostrich.
Oh, okay.
It gives you a
If this were Call of
flashback
Cthulhu,
to...
if this were Call of Cthulhu, I'm pretty sure that would qualify me for a new phobia.
A little bit. Yeah, definitely would. And just using the cloth on yourself, using the bandages to wrap your wounds, you remember the creature in your nightmares, the Tatterman, all wrapped in yellow bandages, just like you are now. And it freaks you out for just a moment.
My bandages turn red because I'm bleeding so heavily.
That's fair. It only reminds me of the bandages for a little while before they are stained. Yeah.
While we're sitting here, can I take a moment to, like, recollect that scent? So if in the future, if I need to track these creatures.
You take a moment to memorize how they smell. Yes.
Okay.
Devin, I just want to make sure of what I grabbed. You said it was a lantern, a blanket, and a hammer.
A lantern, 3 blankets, and a hammer. Yeah. And they're winter
Sweet.
blankets. They're tough, durable, and thick.
Okay. Any of you guys want a blanket? We got 3. I'll give away 2. No takers?
I can hold one.
Oh, no.
Sure.
Okay. So
How heavy are they? They're gonna weigh me down. I'm pretty small.
No, it won't really weigh you down. They don't weigh much. They're just big and fluffy.
Okay.
your weapon is most likely heavier.
Yeah. Yes, it most certainly is. Yeah.
And the hammer, is that like my throwing hammer, or is it like
It's a construction hammer.
It's a construction hammer.
Yeah. Literally
Okay.
for pounding nails into wood.
Perfect. Anybody have crafting?
Yes, but not the kind of crafting that would require.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I will just hold on to it.
You do, when checking out the lantern, note that there is a little bit of oil still in it, enough for probably an hour of usage.
An hour of usage on the lantern. I'll note that.
All right. So after your quick 20, 30 minutes of getting patched up, what do you guys want to do?
I take a look at the guards and see what they're looking at us like.
They're keeping their eyes on you, but they're whispering back and forth. You can't read lips, I don't believe, so you can't tell what they're actually saying, but they are talking to each other about you, you think.
I'll just call out, if we were doppelgangers, do you think we'd really be this pathetic?
They do look a little concerned, yeah. They don't respond, of course. They're... Sorry?
Is he calling out to the guards from earlier?
Yeah.
So there was 2 rooms side by side, right? We went
Yep.
into one.
Yep.
So we should check the other room, I guess.
Okay.
That crack in the wall, that was the north wall, correct?
Yep, it was.
How big was that crack?
The cracks that you made were literal. They were long, but they were thin. They weren't wide enough for anything to go through.
Oh, so there's a possible chance that they're not on the other side of the wall. Okay.
Yes, there is a potential chance.
I might go in the hallway.
Okay. So as you guys get
I would
together,
like to suggest, before we go into the next room, that when we open the door, I take a good long smell and check if there's more of the same in the next room.
We check the door for traps first.
absolutely you can.
Somebody good at checking the door for traps.
Sorry, I was looking at your stuff. Apologies.
Oh,
Nope, do your thing, do your thing. Okay, so you take a moment and you study the door, but you don't notice any traps at all.
I'll do a
Hey.
detect magic to make sure there's no magical traps going on.
Absolutely none. Besides the faint aura of conjuration around this place, there's no magic on the door itself. But the aura of conjuration is nothing new to you. It's a faint kind of whiff around the entire place. As you kind of open the door, Sevstone, you give it a good long smell. You smell something old and bitter, very faintly, but on top of that, more worrisome, is the scent of way more of those centipedes than you just dealt with. A lot more. And as you kind of take a look into this room, there's a lot more rubble covering this place. Probably 2 to 3 times as much. So half the room is filled with rubble, and you can see, now that you know what to look for, the little creatures moving in underneath the rubble.
I'll take a good long look and see if it's worth venturing into this room or.
Sorry, can you say that again? You were cutting in a fair bit.
I just want to take a good long look around the room and see if there's anything that jumps out as worthwhile going into the room for.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception. Based on what you can see, there's a few more blankets. It's really not worth it.
I'll pass that on to the group and bring to their attention all of the creepy crawlies on the floor.
I'm guessing low light in that room.
Yes.
After he relays the message, I'd like to just take a quick perception check as well and take a look.
Okay, go ahead.
Did I use the right one? Yeah. Okay.
You note the same thing. Maybe 2 blankets, nothing really worthwhile.
Okay, close the door and let's move on then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Unless you guys just want to kill centipedes.
Way to efficiently kill them. So no, no for me.
As you take the time to look around, closing the door over, not risking life and limb over a few blankets. Where do you guys want to go next?
Should we continue down the...
I was just going to say, we only really have one way to go.
That's fair.
You were told that was like a exit to this area or something like that?
If you could climb over the rubble, it would be, yes. But the rubble itself extends to the walls. You can see that the door on the left is clear if you can get over the most of the rubble, and there is a massive knockdown section of the wall here, right there, that lets you kind of see into the other room here, and potentially walk into it.
Is there anything in said room?
Are you walking up to it?
We'll walk to where the doorway would have been and take a look.
Okay, well, the door is up here. The massive
Well,
hole in the wall is right there.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm standing kind of at the line of where the wall was.
Okay, is everyone joining him?
I am.
Yeah, I'll walk up with them, shield raised.
So as you kind of walk up to it, you can see that this, like the walls between the hall and the office have largely collapsed. So you can actually see really well into it. You can probably even walk into it without troubles at all. There's a lot of debris that's kind of scattered everywhere. There are cluttered desks. There's a bunch of toppled lockers and several bodies that look almost human. Not quite human, but almost. As you take a look inside, staring around, I'll get you guys to roll perception checks, please.
Why do I always do that when I only open the character sheet tab and not also the Chrome? It's like punishing me for not having them both open. It's like, fuck you, you didn't pay attention to the shitty roll.
I mean, that's just the way it works. So Neru and
Yeah.
Litrix, both of you together, notice something unusual, but the rest of you notice much the same. You can see there are several what looks to be human bodies kind of scattered amongst the debris. Taking account, there are
Oh.
6 people just laying around, and 3 creatures that are very obviously doppelgangers. Their corpses riddled with crossbow bolts, their hands still transformed into the claw-like appendages like the one you saw below.
I'm gonna take a look at those doppelganger bodies and see if there's any distinguishing features that we could potentially use to identify future more alive doppelgangers.
Okay. Beyond that, as I was going to say, both Neru and Litrix, you notice that kind of set off to the side in the clear space to the south are several long strips of skin and flesh and muscle, all neatly organized and separated. Even an eyeball just looking at you, its optic nerve exposed, just the eyeball. So taking a moment to investigate the area and trying to figure out distinguishing features. Looking at the doppelgangers as they are now, they're very obviously not human. And taking a look at the humans, it's incredible the amount of physiological change required from a human to look like a doppelganger. Their eyes are larger, their teeth are pointed and jagged, they have claws instead of, fingers kind of thing. You don't think that if a doppelganger were perfectly disguised, you could ever tell the difference. Because if they're able to disguise that even half as well as the one downstairs was, it'd be near impossible.
What's the clothes on the doppelgangers?
Most of them are wearing the clothing of orderlies. A few of them are wearing like a patient's jacket kind of thing. And amongst the kind of strewn up corpses, there is one civilian, this old-looking lady, who has, like I said, it literally looks just like a civilian. No
Oh, can I?
no distinguishing marks.
I'm seeing if I fit this.
Like to pray over all of the human bodies, promising that as soon as I can give them a proper farewell, that I will be back to do so.
Okay. You take a moment, you kind of touch the bodies slowly and whisper a prayer over them. And as you do so, you do notice that the old lady, that civilian, she's still faintly breathing. She's still alive. Just barely.
So can I cast Stabilize?
Yeah, you take a moment and you feel the rush of magical energy leave you and enter her, and her eyes kind of flutter a little weakly, and she looks up. And when she sees that it's a person looking at her, you can see the visible fear in her eyes. As she tries to move away from you, her hands and arms not working properly. She tries to push into the rubble to get away from you. No, please, no, not me.
Okay, it's okay. We're friendly.
You're not going to eat me?
No, that is definitely not something we were interested in doing.
Oh, thank the gods. I was worried. The others, they went first. I think he found them prettier or something.
Who's
did?
he?
You didn't kill him? He was in the room. I swear, like not too long ago, he was right there. And she kind of shakily points to the strips of flesh and stuff. He was right there. He said he was doing science and he was carving them. He was cutting them up to bits. And I don't know where he went. And you didn't kill him?
When was just? How long ago was this?
I don't know. What? I felt something hit me in the back of the head, and all of a sudden I was just unconscious. I don't know how long it's been. It doesn't feel like that long. Just a few moments, maybe.
Is there a check I can do to feel like if she's lying or not?
You can go ahead
Seven.
and make a deception check to see if you can tell if she's lying. So you take a moment and you study, like, you take a look at her face and, like, the way that she's shaking, and there's no way that she's lying to you. She's absolutely terrified right now.
I'm gonna try to bandage up some of her wounds, I guess.
Okay, do you have a healer's kit?
I do.
Okay. So you take the time to start bandaging up some of her wounds. Go ahead and roll a medicine check, please. Okay. It's at this point that Ostrich, you start, like, putting the kind of pieces together. This place is unusual. Not just like the flesh strips. Not that they pointed at you. That is unusual. But what's more unusual is there was no one who left recently. Not even close to recently. And little warning bells begin to go off in your head as Nera begins bandaging the old lady. And you're the first person to see her face shift to a grin and her hands shift to claws as she gets a surprise round and you get to act in it. So I'll get everyone to roll initiative again.
God, that was a little fucking doppelganger. Of course it was.
I had my
Come on.
Oh,
How close is it to all of us?
Neru is literally touching it at the moment. Everyone else is kind of scattered around the room. Ostrich is probably, like, most of you are probably over-examining the flesh piles and the bodies, so this one's actually fairly far off to the side. There's about 10 feet of space between any of you and Neru.
Okay.
You know what they say, no good deed goes unpunished.
They do say that.
Okay. Alright, so give me a second here. I gotta swap back and forth between a few pages because I have to pop open my doppelganger awesomeness. Okay, so that was a 12. Toriel, again, not rocking a high initiative. Neru actually doing really well. Ostrich doing really well. Right, and between Litrix and Toriel, who wants to go first?
Lutrix can go first.
Okay. Alright, so this creature rockets up. You're still, like, trying to bandage as it's ripped from your hands, and you look up to see this scared old granny literally shift into what looks to be a mostly human male, but the eyes too large, the claws, the teeth, everything screaming doppelganger, just like the bodies you saw. And it's going to attack you. And you are considered flat-footed versus its attack. It'll be a 28 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit me.
Is that a critical hit? Is it more than 10 over your AC?
It is indeed.
I'll use my reaction against that for sure.
Both would be within 15 feet. Okay, yeah. It'll choose to just take the resistance and gain enfeebled. It's fine. So that'll be 23, so 20 points of damage to Neru.
Dear God.
Okay, so how does dying work in this game?
First, you take the dying condition. Are you unconscious?
I am 4 points below 0.
Okay. So you are considered dying at the moment. and dying 1, wounded 1. Now every turn you're going to increase. You're going to make a save or increase the amount of dying you got going on there, and we'll go over that when it actually happens, which is going to be relatively soon, I think. So as the doppelganger looks down at your body, it kind of grins. You can see it reach into its clothing and pull out a scalpel still fresh with blood as it rushes towards the least armored target, which is going to be Toriel.
Oh no. Okay. Well, is it close enough to me to be able to cast True Strike and step kill, or would that be wasting my spell again?
It would be able to, but it still gets the rest of its turn to do so. So it is going to get a 14 to hit off on you. Does 14 hit you?
My armor class is 15.
So it goes to strike you, and you react immediately, like moving away from the creature. Although you were caught off guard, it doesn't manage to hit you. And then, Ostrich, you get to go.
Okay. I'm going to draw my crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that my pursue a lead applies to this situation?
I would. You have found the doppelgangers.
Okay, so free action to devise stratagem.
Mm-hmm.
So then I will use my second action to attack with a total of 14.
Okay, so you fire off the bolt very quickly, kind of a burst of reaction speed, but the creature threw you off enough that the crossbow bolt goes wide.
Okay. And then I will use my third action to fire a second crossbow bolt.
All right. That is a critical failure. So as you go to fire the second one, you're trying to load in the crossbow bolt, and you manage to actually rip apart a good chunk of your crossbow. Having broken it, it's kind of not so effective at the moment. It gains the broken condition.
Oh no.
All right, then it will. That's the end of the surprise round. It goes back to the doppelganger, who's going to launch an attack against our good friend Toriel.
Okay, so I'm going to cast True Strike,
It's
and then
its
I'm
turn,
going
not
to...
your turn. Remember, I said the surprise round ended. It's its turn again. Yeah. Sorry.
God damn it.
It's okay. That's a 26 to hit, which will be a critical hit against you.
Fuck. How much does that hit me for?
16 points of damage.
Well, I'm -1.
Okay, so you're also dying 1, wounded 1.
Okay,
Seeking
so
out-
dying 1 wounded 1.
Seeking out the nearest most unarmored target, it's going to go for Ostrich next. That is a 17 to hit Ostrich. That does hit, right, Ostrich?
Does hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you're going to be taking 8 points of damage as the creature lunges claws first at you. All right, then Ostrich, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm just going to point out that wasn't a critical. Oh, I guess right. -10 probably would.
Yeah.
It just. I didn't roll a natural one. It was just modifiers that took it down to 1. But
Yeah.
I forgot about the -10 thing.
Yep, it does have enough AC that was a critical failure. Yeah, I know it didn't show up in red, so it wasn't an actual nat 1, but yeah, critical failure regardless.
But going to use my first action to it's just a free action to drop an item, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, just gonna drop my broken crossbow
Absolutely.
and use my first action to draw my sword cane. Devise a stratagem. Why are you hurting me? Roll 20. So yeah, second action to attack will be a 15 to hit.
That will not hit.
And then attack number 2 with my sword cane. 6 to hit. Another critical failure.
That is another critical failure. You find yourself dazed for the turn, as when you go to attack the creature, it just bops you on the head, leaving you a little bit woozy. This is this is not good.
He's really killing us that hard.
Okay. All right, so okay. There's that sneak attack. That very first sneak attack that rolled a critical success was a little hard hitting. Neru, you're going to roll a recovery check. So roll a d20. Okay, you are currently dying 2. If you ever reach dying 4, you are dead.
Oops.
Then it will go to Sevastone.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is my claw blade still drawn, or do I have to draw it?
It would still be drawn.
Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and attempt to tumble through on the doppelganger.
Okay. You like run up at the doppelganger, and as it's bopping Ostrich on the head, you actually put your hand on its head and do a backflip over it, getting behind it.
Okay, so that's movement and acrobatics.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna do on it. So I'll see if I can hit it.
Okay, it is considered flanked at the moment, so that will hit.
Okay. So then I'll add 2d6 in
Next,
addition.
Yeah, you're doing your big finisher kind of thing. So that is 11 total. Okay, so you strike the creature from behind, having done all this amazing like back flippery, and as you strike him, you can feel your claw blade actually hit something hard, like an exoskeleton. Although humans don't have that. It's unusual. All right, Litrix, you're up.
How close am I to Naru?
You're about 15 feet away. 10, 15.
Will lay on hands stabilize him?
Absolutely
Like,
will.
hold
Any
that.
amount of magical healing will help.
All right, then I will move to Naru, use lay on hands.
Mm-hmm.
That I believe is just a flat 6 hit points. Let me
It
just
should be, yep.
check. Where is... Oh, that's in my spells. Right. Yeah. That will be 6 hit points. If the target is one of your allies, they also gain a +2 status bonus to AC for 1 turn. I'm not sure how that would apply here.
He is an ally, so he gains a +2 bonus to his AC until the end of his next turn.
He will get it. Okay. And I will use that 1 daily roll I have to see if I get the spell back.
Absolutely.
Which is... How do I do this again? So that's /1 D100? Or...
Yep, 1d100, yep.
I'm not putting this in there, right, am I?
Potentially not. /roll space 1d100. There's also a die roller on the side where you can literally just... Yeah, no. You got the roll thing wrong. You can literally just... there's a die roller on the left-hand side where you can just press the D100.
Perfect,
But
I think I
the
got
12? Yep. So you feel the divine inspiration kind of flow from you as you heal Neru, and you retain your focus point and your spell slot.
it. Okay. And... Let's see... That leaves me with 1 turn. He down narrows, so does that mean he's within attack range right now? Or...
No, because he moved forward and then continued to down people. So he did down Toriel, and he's working on downing Ostrich. So you'd have to move again to get up to him.
Perfect. Is Ostrich between me and him or on the other side?
Ostrich's on the other side. Seveston is between you and the creature.
All right. For this turn, I'll raise my shield.
All right. So you kind of take a defensive stance, trying to make sure this creature doesn't get the opportunity to take you down as well.
Mm-hmm.
Toriel, you are... I need you to roll a d20, please. You are considered dying too. If you ever reach dying 4, you will just die.
All right.
So that's the end of your turn. Going back up to the creature itself, he's going to start trying to tear into Ostrich. That is a 17 to hit Ostrich, which hits, I do believe. And it'll hit for 11 points of damage.
And I'll use my reaction there.
Fair enough. So the creature is going to be enfeebled. So, actually, you used that last time too, didn't you? That means this was a 16 to hit. Does a 16 still hit you, Ostrich?
That hits.
Okay, yeah. So that would be
I'm down.
8 points of
does.
damage.
Still down.
Okay. All right, so the creature turns and looks at Seveston, the grin already there. It takes a moment to focus, and you can feel this influence in your thoughts, in your mind, as this creature is trying to overwhelm you, not just physically, but psychically as well, making you see your worst nightmares come to life around you. Go ahead and roll a will save.
Will my stoicism for
It
this
applies.
roll?
Yep.
Okay.
Hit the grumpy baby. You need a will save, not a fortitude save, good sir.
Good thing.
Okay, you feel absolutely overwhelmed and are considered flat-footed against this creature for its next attack as it attempts to claw you to pieces. And the only thing you can see are the eyes of your dead companions all around you, all of them severed and stripped of their flesh, all of it laid out in little bits. And you can see this creature slowly begin to weave itself with the cloth of the Tatterman, all in your mind, this thing happening. But it's only going to get a 9 to hit, which is not enough to hit you. So at the end of your turn, or at the end of its turn, you shake yourself out of it. You can see the creature as it is in front of you, no longer forcing itself into your mind. Okay, that'll go to Ostrich. Go ahead and roll, please, a d20. Okay. Were you at negative hit points?
I had 8 hit points and I took 8 damage, so I was exactly at 0.
Okay, you were considered unconscious, no longer dying, but you've gained the Wounded 1 condition. Alright, Neru, you are conscious, you're awake, you've been healed.
I see everybody being hurt pretty bad all around me.
Mm-hmm.
Does the shapeshifter look hurt at all?
Yes.
Yes.
Not heavily injured, but definitely injured.
All right. Somebody who's down right now? Toriel's down, right?
Toriel and Ostrich, yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, I will use my 2-action heal on Toriel.
Alright.
So that will do not much healing for you.
I am pretty sure that pops you up to reasonably good health, Toriel.
And then my last action, I'm going to back up a little bit, pull out my weapon, and that's about all I can do.
You'll be able to move or pull out your weapon. One or the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Oh, okay. Well, then I'm going to just pull out my weapon.
Alright, sounds good.
Wait, can I stand up?
No, that would take half of your movement as a move action.
Okay, well then I will stand up and back up a little bit.
Okay, so you managed to stand up and move away from the creature in question.
Who did he heal?
You.
Oh, so I'm plus 14?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I'm 13. Am I not dying anymore?
You are no longer dying, but you have the wounded 1 condition.
Okay, so I'm dying 0.
Yes, dying 0, wounded 1. All right. Seviston.
I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to tumble through again.
All right. So you attempt to shift around the creature in an acrobatic fashion, and all you manage to do is take a quick step to the side. The creature is now tracking you, and there's as flashy as you might be, you can't regain your panache when it's staring you down, and your head still half full of nightmares.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make my attack.
Okay, you attack the creature, and still thrown off balance by what you saw, you don't manage to strike it hard enough to pierce its skin.
Okay, and then as my final action, I'm gonna go ahead and dueling parry.
Alright. So you take a moment to brace yourself for whatever's coming your way. You've seen it literally take down 3 of your friends in 1 or 2 attacks, so you're ready for it. You think you can handle it.
Yep.
Okay, Litrix.
Okay, I'm going to move up behind the creature with my first move action.
Alright.
I'm going to use my second action to make an intimidation against it
Alright.
while yelling and screaming at it. Let's see here. And then I'm going to finish with attack.
Okay, so you yell and you scream, and this creature just turns around and grins at you, not at all bothered by your attempted intimidation. It knows it can take down most of your party in the space of a 6-second round, so why would it be scared of you? Go ahead and attack. And it's proven right. As you attempt to strike it, it simply flicks its hand and your weapon goes wide. Roll20 is not being kind to us tonight.
Oh, I read that wrong.
No, it's not being kind to us. It's being more than generous to you.
I'm not using Roll20. I'm using actual dice because that way I can do things and stuff. All right, so that goes to Toriel.
Was that a critical fail or just I went wide?
Just a regular fail. You went wide.
I wounded 1 thing. Am I even able to do anything? I'm wounded 1.
You sit up and you can feel like the harsh pain of a wound in your side. It's already closed over in scar tissue, all to hell. But you're conscious and you're able to look around. You're sitting down, but you're able to look around.
What do I see?
So you see that Ostric's been taken down. Neru is on his feet again, even though he had been knocked out. Seviston is kind of in a defensive stance, and Litrix is trying to taunt the creature into attacking just them.
Okay, I'm gonna cast shield on who's down?
Shield is a personal spell for you. It only works on you. Yeah.
Oh, okay, well there's one that I can hold up. There's one that I can cast.
As far as I was aware, it was a personal.
I think Forbidding Ward is the one. Yeah, you ward an ally against the attacks and hostile spells from the target enemy.
Yeah. Gets a +1 status bonus to armor class and saving throws against that enemy. Yeah. Okay, so who are you warding?
Who needs it the most right now?
You're not able to tell. You know that Litrix is heavily armored, but you've seen this creature tear through your other friends just like they were paper, so you're not sure who could use it the most.
And is he still up?
Litrix is still up and standing, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna cast it on Litrix.
Okay, so Litrix, you have a +1 status bonus to your AC until the for up to a minute actually. So as long as she holds it, you're good to go.
I shall keep holding it. That will be my whole turn.
All right. Do you want to stand up? Because you can still stand up. You still have 1 more action.
Yeah, I'll stand up.
All right, sounds good. It's going to go to the creature now. Having been taunted by this thing, it really wants to wreck you. So it's going to make a quick attack against you for an 18 to hit.
Nope.
All right. It takes a moment after scratching against your shield and armor. It looks at you and really focuses in on your mind. Go ahead and make a will save.
Guess I would get the +1 from the emotional thing.
It is an emotional effect, yep.
Okay.
And you can feel its will pressing against yours, trying to force images of your worst nightmare. But you've already faced the Tatterman. This thing is nothing, and you shatter the spell as it starts. The creature glares at you, but tries one more attack. That is a 22 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay, it'll deal 6 points of damage with its claw as it rakes the front of your armor, managing to scratch just where the neck joint's weakest.
Okay, that's a slashing attack.
That is a slashing attack.
So I'll get 1 resistance there. Okay.
All right. Ostrich, you are still down. So would you mind rolling a flat check? Oh no, you were unconscious. You're not dying. You're unconscious. So you're fine. Your turn passes. You're not in any danger at the moment from immediate death. Neru.
I will cast heal on Ostrich. You said was down.
Ostrich is down. Yep.
All right. So Ostrich can take 11 HPs.
All right, Ostrich, you
And,
can feel, even though unconscious, you feel this wave of energy rush over you, and you can feel your wounds ease.
And I'm gonna shoot my fire ray at the monster as my third and final action.
Fire Ray only takes a single action to cast.
I think so. Okay, I could be wrong. It just shows in here as it doesn't count as a spell. Technically, it's an attack for me because of the.
Yeah, it actually does require a somatic and verbal component to fire, so it would take 2 actions to cast.
Okay, then I will just stay back.
Okay. All right. Seveston, you're up.
Okay, having failed on the last acrobatics check, Seveston will attempt to do the battle dance, so the performance thing,
Okay.
fascinating performance.
Okay, you attempt to fascinate your opponent, and sorry, give me 1 second. I'm gonna double check a thing. Just gonna reread fascinating performance because it's actually.
Yep.
Okay, being in the middle of combat, you do not. You don't critically succeed against the creature, but you do succeed. So it's not incapacitated, but it is drawn to you. That will give you your panache.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and try and do the confident finisher on it.
All right, go ahead. That is definitely a hit. Not a critical hit, so it'll deal 2 damage, and then an extra bit. Okay, so 7 damage.
Okay.
Really
And
isn't
then-
being kind.
And then go ahead and dueling parry, bringing up my weapon in a defensive way.
All right, trying to make sure that you're not at least destroyed by this creature on its turn. You bring up your weapon to try and parry off anything that could happen. Litrix, you're up.
What does flanking give again?
Actually, yeah, I forgot that you were flanking with Seveston. Seveston, you have flanking. That became a critical hit because you have flanking. So that went from doing 7 damage to doing 21 points of damage.
Nice.
You heavily wound the creature. You can tell it's bloodied at this point, but still standing, still willing to fight. All right, now Litrix, go ahead.
And I'm just going to make my attack against it.
Yep.
I'm going to finish that game. Oh.
Okay, so you attack the creature with your warhammer, smacking into it. You do strike it for a considerable amount of damage, not enough to end it, but enough to keep it off balance for just a moment. Do you want to follow it up with another attack?
I will.
That is also a critical hit. So that is 20 points of bludgeoning damage. You bring your hammer up and over onto the creature's skull, smashing it and literally sending its blackened blood across the entirety of the room.
Sorry.
As the creature, yep.
I didn't hit my second. That's my bad. I should have a -5 there.
So that would not be a critical. That'd be a 21, which is still enough to kill him. Don't worry. Either one was enough to kill.
Perfect.
So yeah, you absolutely destroy this creature's skull. As it tumbles to the ground, you can breathe a small sigh of relief. Just, it's done. None of the other bodies are moving. None of the other bodies attempted to attack, so you're pretty sure that was the only one here still alive.
High five, Seviston.
That's fair.
Indeed.
Ostrich, you are conscious and healed. Don't forget, because Nerve did spend some time giving you a heal.
Yeah.
Can we get Ostrich to look over the bodies and make sure they're all really all dead? Some medicine checks.
Ostrich? Do you just want to take 10 to examine the bodies?
Sure.
Okay, taking
Can I
your
use
time.
that 10 minutes? Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, can I use that same 10 minutes to use my med kit and try to heal myself a little bit?
Absolutely, you can take 10. What does take 10 with medicine get you?
I have no idea.
10 plus your medicine. That's it. I just need to know what 10 plus your medicine is.
Oh. My medicine is at a +7, so it'd be 17.
Okay, you managed to heal yourself for 2d8 damage. Okay, so taking a look around, Ostrich, you take a look, and you examine the bodies from a reasonable distance, 2 to 3 feet away, just so you have time to react in case they start moving. And you can guarantee that they are, in fact, all dead. None of them are breathing. You can actually feel no heat radiating from them. None of them have any, breath going on. They're so still, it's impossible for them to be anything but dead. Nobody's talking. I'm a little...
Yeah, I'd also like to look over the.
Sorry, I was worried
Take
that
a
my
look
thing
at
was
the-
flipping out.
Sorry, Ostrich, what was that?
I'm going to take a look over the doppelganger's body as well, since this is the freshest doppelganger specimen we have to work with.
Okay, since this one being mostly intact except for the brain meat, you take a quick look over the body and you find a couple of things that are interesting. Whoever this was actually a doctor. You find the kind of little name badge she would have had, naming him. 1 second. Dr. Latchkey.
Fuck.
You find on his person a full set of surgical equipment, like scalpel and forceps, everything you would need to actually perform a surgery, which you can use to enhance your own medicine kit, giving it a +1 bonus, as long as you clean it first.
Okay, so, sorry, Dr. Latchkey, you said?
Latchkey, Latchke.
Latchkey.
You notice that now
Then,
that he's dead, he has reverted fully to a feral doppelganger form. His teeth no longer even remotely look like they're human. The claws have extended just a little bit, and you can see on his body various markings that look like the wrappings on bandages. Is there anything else you're looking for?
no. let me finish writing down some notes.
Well, he's examining him. Those strips of flesh in the eyeball, I'd like to take those down respectfully and find a way to maybe bury them under some rubble.
Okay, you
I
take the
actually
time to
prefer
do
we
so.
burn them, but
Yeah, you could also burn them, although this isn't like a perfectly enclosed space, so any fire, while it will be bitter, the walls are stone. There's no real there's desks and stuff kind of scattered everywhere, but nothing that would catch fire easily. So you can burn them if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay.
Burn them, bury them, whatever.
well, we're also trying to get those furnaces going too. So it would, or were they boilers?
They were
Yeah, you'd have to
boilers.
start the furnace downstairs to get the boilers up here working. There were
So
still
once we
coals
get the
downstairs.
once we get the furnaces going, we can start burning things.
Yeah, you did really like to get a typical furnace working. It would probably take you a few hours of toil.
That wouldn't happen to be the furnaces we saw earlier. Will we be able to piece that together?
Absolutely. That's literally exactly what I'm talking about. You would have to go downstairs and get those furnaces started
Okay.
in the basement where you were held captive.
Right. I'd also like to cut off the doppelganger's claws.
You would have to sever pretty high up, but you can do it. Yeah. Do you have a cutting implement?
I have a knife.
Yep. You can take the time to like wrench the little the claws off, and I don't know what you want to do with them, but now you've got them.
Do we have to prove we killed that thing?
I'm going to drag its body back there. That's why I'm cutting the claws off. I like dead things to stay dead, but if in case it doesn't, well, now it's close.
That's fair. Although from what you've seen, they can probably regrow that fairly quickly.
That is true.
So
Cauterize it. Anyone have any fire?
Everyone has torches, yes. But Ostrich, what were you going to say?
So I have a part of my my methodology is I have a feat called forensic acumen. When I've basically when I've done a medicine check to examine a body, I can do a recall knowledge check with a +1 for a related creature or whatever. So would I be able to do like a knowledge type check to glean any more insight on doppelgangers?
Go ahead and roll an occult check.
Occult, and then this will be with a +1 on top of it. So 13.
Based on what you know from Toriel's explanation earlier, this was a fully fledged doppelganger, not a half-made one like the one you fought before. These creatures are almost indistinguishable, and they can typically skim through the memories of people around them to make their act all the more accurate and convincing.
I will relay that information to the party so that we know
What we're up against?
Well, that's never great.
But
I
the
wonder if
last
this
thing
is the
I
original doppelganger that we saw in the downstairs.
Sorry, say that again?
I said, I wonder if this is the original doppelganger that we saw downstairs.
The original doppelganger you saw downstairs was definitely more feminine and still a half-made thing, not a full-fledged thing. So this one doesn't seem to be the same.
Okay.
and
All right. Well,
I would like to take a look at the like cut up body parts or whatever that we saw earlier as we entered this area and just see if there's anything significant that can be gleaned from them.
Go ahead and roll a perception check. Based on what you're seeing, it doesn't look like anything was actually done with the body parts themselves other than they were cut off. It looks more like an obsessive thing than something done in the name of science. You've seen similar actions in serial killers in the past. You think it might have just been this one doppelganger's insanity. driving him forward to be a doctor, to be a surgeon, to be whoever he was impersonating in a sick and twisted way. Maybe he was still trying to be human.
How did the guards want us to prove that we killed our doppelgangers?
Bring them 3 doppelganger bodies.
We should bring them a number 1.
I
There
agree.
were 3 other doppelganger bodies in here as well, full of crossbow bolts.
That would be dishonest, though.
Mhm.
We can still bring them to them and tell them we didn't kill these ourselves, but as a token of whatever, that we're still bringing them the bodies.
I know these guys were jittery enough. They'll probably just be like, "Ha! You tried to deceive us."
I don't know. We got the wounds to prove that we didn't.
Mm-hmm. Suppose it wouldn't.
Also, I'm just gonna grab those. You say that the doppelgangers have crossbow bolts inside them.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna grab those and replenish my supply.
You're going to gain 10 crossbow bolts.
And I'll weep a little at my broken crossbow, but at least I have ammo.
It's true.
Did we loot all the stuff here yet, or not?
I mean, most of them are human corpses and elven corpses and doppelganger corpses. If you want to attempt looting them, you can.
The doppelgangers, I have no problem with people looting. The rest of them would be nice if you tried to be respectful, at least.
Okay. I'll get... So, taking the time to investigate these creatures and stuff, I'll get one of you, whoever wants to roll a perception check.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Oh, I already did it. But it wasn't a good one.
Okay, you take a look around, and you know that none of them actually had anything of value on them. Most of them were stripped, relatively naked, bundled in loincloths, that kind of thing, and didn't really have anything of value. Although there might be something under the rubble if you wanted to spend some time clearing it. Based on the way that it's kind of scattered around the room, though, you're afraid that it might be a cave-in kind of situation if you don't move it carefully enough.
Okay, well, I relay that to the group.
Oh, I can easily do heavy lifting.
Alright, well, you might as well take the body to the guards. Or we might as well take the body to the guards.
I agree. We can come back and check this out again afterwards. At least this might alleviate some of their stress or something.
Yeah.
Okay, as you bring the body out, they do raise their crossbows again. You kind of leave it at a relatively respectful distance, I would assume. They nod, and they look a little more relieved to see you this time. And Captain York is there as well, and he looks at you and looks at the body and just... he seems pensive.
They don't look like they're about to say anything?
Nope.
Alright, no, I'm just going to go back to the rubble.
All right. Okay, so do you guys actually want to attempt to move the rubble itself?
Which one keeps using the med kits? Is that Sebastian or Ostrich?
Ostrich.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Ostrich if he could. I got a little bit of damage here. If I could bandage up or something.
Sure, I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
I have a better question about the wounded status.
Mm-hmm. It
Is there like a max?
Sorry, go ahead.
Is there like a max thing that it can get to?
Every time that you gain the dying condition and heal from it until you get a treat wounds or are restored to full health and rest for 10 minutes, you gain another wounded condition, and the more wounded you are, the quicker you die. So if you have wounded 1, you still get dying 1, dying 2, dying 3, dying 4. If you have wounded 2, you go from dying 0, normal, to dying 2 to dying 4. If you have dying 3, then you go from dying 3 to dead. And of course
Okay.
wounded 4, it goes on like that.
Just makes you go faster. Okay, I was like wondering if there was a point in which I hit like wounded 4 and then I would just be dying 1,
Yeah, no, it doesn't stack like that. It only affects how quickly you die once you're down.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. But if you can regain up to your max HP then and rest for 10 minutes, you lose the dying condition. Or if somebody takes the time to use a treat wounds on you.
Okay, well I need 2 HP. Lol. And you got some spare HP?
No.
So rude.
I know, right?
I gave out so much HP.
All right. So do you guys actually want to attempt to clear the rubble?
No.
No?
No.
So we're just gonna climb over the rubble over here and continue on.
Yeah.
There was the door that we could access over there, right?
Yeah. You could climb over the rubble, and you can see a relatively stable path that you could actually climb along to get there, no problem, yeah.
Would that
Okay.
be like out of the building?
You don't know.
Just be aware I myself am completely out of healing spells.
It hasn't been that
So
long
whatever-
since your last rest. You could spend the rest of the day resting and being safe to regain your spell slots, but you would lose around 20 hours.
Are we in a time crunch?
Not that you think? No, don't think so.
Well, we had talked
Still
about
have my medicine kit, and so not like we're completely out of healing capabilities.
during combat, though.
No, you can use it otherwise. It
That'll-
just takes 10 minutes.
Like, I have a specific feat that lets me use treat wounds in combat. It's not a huge problem.
Well, if we're going to go at it like that, we'll have to be a little bit more careful than what we were.
Yes, because as far as you guys are aware,
Also,
there are
who
still...
was asking about healing earlier because I was sorting out my inventory.
Yeah, I thought we were going to clear the rubble, but we're now discussing what we're going to do.
Because as far as you guys are aware, there are still 2 more doppelgangers somewhere in this section of the asylum.
So that door that was up there, you said it's an easy climb to get up there?
Very much so, yes.
Okay. I would suggest that we at least go up there and try and see what we can see in there.
If no one's going to argue, we can move on to doing that.
Well, we can take a vote at it. I'd actually say we should rest, to be honest. I'm with Neru on that.
I like that.
If we're not pressed for time, which they just want us to bring them 2 dead doppelgangers at some point if we want to continue our conversations with them, but there's no point getting ourselves killed doing it.
Exactly.
Okay. If all we're going to do for the rest of the rest, I think we should at least try and get the boiler going down below. Don't press any further exploring, but do that job at least.
So you think we should go down, light up the boilers, and rest in that area with the locked doors again?
Yeah.
It's possible.
Along the way, was there a lot of material we could use to burn? Tables, chairs?
There's a lot of desks in this room you could kind of hack apart, definitely. And there were some stuff down there, like there were coals down there. All you need is to strike a few, like even some... there were a pile of personal belongings down there, clothing and such, that you could use to light up the coals again and get it burning fairly quickly. It would take maybe 2-3 hours of tending before the fires would be good and the water would be hot here.
Right. Yeah. if you guys want, that's what I think we should do. We should rest and get that fire going. We can take the wood and all that from here, and we'll just check with the guys at the end of the wall and see if they think that's a bad idea or not.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you guys gonna talk to the guards a bit at first, or are you just gonna head downstairs and do that right away then?
Go to talk to the guards before we head out.
Everyone's in agreement on that?
That's my suggestion, people.
So as you guys approach the guards, they do level the crossbows. Captain New York kind of makes a motion to stay back, but they don't immediately shoot, and they let you get as close as the outside exit door before getting a little antsy. If you come any closer, they look like they might actually shoot you, but they don't talk to you. They're already convinced that you're probably doppelgangers, just performing a really good act. What do you guys want to say to them?
We're going to get those hot water tanks up and running. Is that an issue?
Kind of looks around and... No, I'd reckon that would actually help us out a fair bit. That would, wouldn't it? If you do what you say you're going to do.
Well, we need to heal up a little bit from our wounds from fighting that doppelganger. So while we're at that, we're going to get the boilers going.
Right, wounds. Yeah. So you guys kind of head inside, go downstairs, start tending the furnaces. I think we'll call it there for the evening. And congratulations, folks. That is a level up when you rest for the night.
Yay!
Yay.
You overcame a massive obstacle in Dr. Latchkey. And it was very, very well done. So, congrats. I'm not going to be able to help with level ups going right now. I'm a little brain fried at the moment. Sorry. But message me during the week and I can help you guys out doing your level ups if you need it.
Whee! Yay!
Thank you a lot, Kevin.